chatting about learning to earn, Keeshon. And I want
Mhm.
to continue this one. I want to just probably talk a little bit about paradigms.
Yeah.
All right. And the I think last night I did that session. I was saying about that session I did last time. Hey, that's still good morning. That still is on. All right, Arima. I think Arima is in the house. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Hey, Cheryl is on. Suriname is in the house. Good to have you on, Cheryl. Wonderful. All right. Just share and invite and tag someone as you come on this morning for morning breakfast brew. Okay, where we are dealing with the topic learn to earn. We'll talk a little bit about paradigms, and I want to share some things about a concept with a mind. I was talking about that last night in the meeting
Mhm.
on Facebook. I did two sessions on. I think they wanted us to do inferior thoughts, dealing with inferior thoughts, uh, and let me tell you this. Now I did it, but you're doing it's a church platform, all right. So you want to do it, but when you go into that topic, Kishore, you really have to. I don't want to say not too spiritual. You don't want spiritual too much, I think,
Yeah.
because of the area that needs to be transformed. And I think that sometimes Christians, a lot of Christians, they spiritualize a lot of things
Yeah.
and don't get the transformation that they need to get. Because I was teaching also that God deals with us the way He created our mind to function.
Yeah.
And that you have to think. So you have to use your mind. You have to use your mind. And the thing with that, you know what's so profound with that? Because remember, we have the power of choice or free will. So
Mhm.
God don't control our will, all right, and the enemy don't control our will. We control our will, no matter what anybody say.
Right.
All right, we have the power of choice. So what he does now, he will give you options, and he will tell you what to choose, but he will not choose for you. Okay,
Yeah.
but I think that a lot of people will still ask God do it. God, yes, I'm saying from that place.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm talking about this in terms of the aspect of what we need to develop and what we need to work on, that
Mhm.
we have to work on our mindset when it comes to dealing with inferior thoughts, when it comes to dealing with growing and learning,
Yeah.
because all that is in the arena of learn before you earn. Okay, so there are things that you need to know about your whole mindset. Okay, so what God does literally, He give you an idea. Nowhere in the Bible, God is going to just give you money. It's up there. Say, all
Yeah.
right. Say, all right. Try to say, work on your mindset. Work on your mindset. All right,
Work on your
folks.
mindset.
All right. Those of you coming on this morning, Jacqueline. All right. Gardner is in the house. Ingrid. Good to have you all on this morning. Share the live with someone. Make your comments. Make your contribution. You know how we do it here. Let us know what area you're coming from. Welcome to the morning breakfast brew with Ian and Keeshon as we deal with personal growth and development. So we are
Mhm.
just chatting about stuff I was sharing last night. So what God does, Kish, He will give you an idea.
Yeah.
Now, I'm showing you from the point where most sometimes believers they miss it because sometimes they're waiting for God to to do this great thing and but He will give you an idea.
Yeah.
Saying nowhere in the Bible you see that God really give you like money and He give you stuff like that. He always give you an idea. He give you a strategy. He give you an idea. All right. In Deuteronomy 8, it says, "I give you power to get wealth." The word
Yeah.
power is that's know-how. All right. And then the basis I was using it. I was using the same Psalm 23 verse 5. Thou anointest my head with oil. All
Yeah.
right. So the head first. So I was showing them. it moves for your head, Keeshon, which is in knowledge, to your
Mm-hmm.
heart, then to your hands.
Right.
Okay? So you wait for the idea, wait for the insight, wait for that idea to drop in. So you
Mm-hmm.
find sometimes a lot of people don't manifest because they miss the idea. They miss that, and it's not that they don't come on. It's not that God will give you an idea, it drop to or a strategy to for you to implement. It's always for you to do it. It's always for
Yeah.
you to identify. It's always for you to do it. It is there. He gives you that. Now, the Jewish people, all right, has a concept and a belief that in your mind, all right, which is in the brain, there's a soul, and in the soul, there's wisdom, on knowledge, and understanding. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The mind, all right, the soul, okay, and in the soul there's wisdom, there's knowledge, and there's understanding. So this is why the psalmist said he anointed his head first. So you always start with the head. You don't start with the hands.
Yeah.
You remember the saying that we had said that you want wealth in your head first, all right, before or in your mind before in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it gotta come. It gotta come here first, and so that's why sometimes a lot of people miss it because they get it here, but they're looking for it here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, between the head and the hand is your heart. Okay, so it comes to the head, then it goes to the heart. That
Mm-hmm.
is where you basically, it's like you're married to the idea. You become one with it.
Yeah.
It becomes
Yeah.
part of you. So you're passionate about it. It's here. You understand what I'm saying?
Of
This
course.
because you're going something. This is in your heart. It's heart. Because if it moves from your head to your hand, okay, and you skip your heart, then the tendency is when you begin to work it, if you miss the heart aspect of it, tendency are you may walk away from it when you are faced with pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's in your heart, you become one with it, you understand it, you feel it, you know it,
Correct.
then you move it now to the hands. Okay? And then the hands now is where you begin to structure it, where you begin to work it. All right, come in there before I go further. All right. Let me ask.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just to add to that, it's about having that synchronicity with what is in your mind, and the heart represent how you feel, and so it's what you're seeing with your mind, what you're feeling with your heart, and then what you're doing synergistically with your hands, which is your work. So you have to be in synchronicity, right? In order to really, as you say, create and manifest. It has to have that level of synchronicity between the mind, the heart, and the hand, because it's the vision, it's the feeling, the emotion, and then the action.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That literally, Keeshon, is really really something else. I'm telling you, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that when for individuals who are pursuing their dreams and going after stuff, all right, if you work that concept, the 3H, the head, the heart, the hand, all
Yeah.
right. So you have a thought, and is literally so you have a left brain, you have a right brain, then you have the soul, which is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means now the brain serves as a funnel for the entrance of things from one dimension to another dimension,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
one realm to another realm. Okay, so because the soul now, the brain serves as that funnel, it coming in
Mm-hmm.
here. All right. So the mind aspect, the dealing with the mind is really really important. Keisha, I'm telling you. So for
Yeah.
folks, those of you who are listening, we are learning to earn, and so we're talking about different aspect. We're talking about the mind. We're talking about working on your mindset. That's educating yourself. but don't miss the aspect of when God just give you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas are birthed every second as we talk. Ideas are birthed. Okay, ideas are birthed. Now you ask yourself the question now, why the ideas are not being manifested? Because most of the time the ideas come and people don't recognize it.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's going to come in a raw material form.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come in a raw material form. So you have to be able to have the eyes to see it, to sense it, to connect, to see it, to listen to me. Like, remember we spoke about the guy who um in Europe, when they went to Africa, they saw the woman with a stone.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. How he was able to recognize that there's some value in this.
He
Okay.
had some information.
He had some information, he had some knowledge,
Yeah.
right? And that is what knowledge does. That is what information does. So you educate yourself, you build your, in the knowing. So when you see opportunities present itself before you, you will be able to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because you have some knowledge. Now you may not be able to know the full depth into it, but you'll be able to at least to recognize that there's something about this opportunity that is unique, and I need to seize it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is what he did when he saw the rock. Because the woman, she had it, but she don't understand the value of what she had. So
That's
she was
right.
using it to, and again, and Miles talk about that with value and purpose.
Correct.
Abuse. So she's abusing this rock. Why? Because she's not using it for what it was intended for.
Yeah.
Right? Sitting on billions, but not understanding it. All right. Anything you want to touch on that?
Not yet. So, I'm learning as well. So definitely you continue.
No. All right. So what I really want to get into in the aspect of learning this morning, that as I shared that aspect of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
okay, understanding how the mind works. Those of you who are on this morning, those of you probably will come back and listen to this later. Um, don't neglect this aspect of this of your growth, of your development, in terms of
Yeah.
understand how the mind works. Because one of the things I know is that God deals with us the way He created our mind to function. That's what I mentioned just now. So
Correct.
how the mind works, because that is where the ideas, that is where the thoughts, that is where your beliefs and your values is gonna take information from your subconscious mind. Okay. And most people, most individuals, really, they deal in with there's a paradigm shifting problem that they
Mm-hmm.
deal
Mm-hmm.
with. Okay. Because one of the topic was dealing with inferior thoughts.
Okay.
Inferior, which means thoughts that are not real, thoughts that has already been established in the subconscious mind as a result of years of probably learning, layers of experience, years of things that an individual passed through.
Yeah.
And for those of you who hear you're an adult, but remember that subconscious mind aspect of your mind has already been formed already.
Correct.
Okay, so when you are looking at something now, you're already looking at that thing. Your perspective was really shaped and coming from a place as a result of your subconscious mind,
Yeah.
giving you a view of that. Okay, so you're seeing it the way you are seeing it as a result of how your the subconscious aspect of your mind was formed. So the shifting of that, the changing of that is important, but you got to understand how it works,
Yeah.
how the mind works, what it is about paradigm. So those are aspects of learning before earning. All right. Because when the earning comes, you must be at that person to really now be able to manage, to balance this thing so that
Correct.
more can come. All right. Because you don't want to step into abuse. All right. At financial abuse, where you will lose basically what you have, and you may
Yeah.
have to start over again. And that is what a lot of people face because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the know-how in terms of, and it starts with that whole development of self.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's touch a little bit about in the whole the paradigm aspect. of the mind. All right. I went back into that again. Because of, for me, I'm telling you, Keeshon, while I going over these teachings and I'm going over these studies, I remember, as I said to you years ago, when I met with Bob Prudker,
Yeah.
and the whole paradigm teaching brought a shift for me,
Hmm.
because it really caused me to see why it is that somebody will get the right information, say they want it, say it, this is what I'm going to do, start to do it, and then stop doing
Yeah.
it. All right. So you got something that will bring about that change, and that's what you need. But then the why it is you will walk away from, and you will ask yourself a question: why it is this person walk away from this? It's somehow it's like they don't see the value,
Correct.
right? So when I started to do paradigm with Baba, it was like an aha moment. It was like a wake up call,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of, I see where the problem is. Now, from a Christian perspective, because this is not something that is clear cut in the Bible. Sometimes it's hard for a believer to walk in this direction,
Yeah.
because it's not clear cut. No, it's there. No, it's there in the Bible. Okay, because you will ask yourself then, why it is God said to Joshua, meditate? Why it is Psalm 1 say, meditate day and night, and you shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth its fruit in its season, your leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever you do it shall prosper. Why? Okay. So it's there. And I tell people that most of the times, Keeshon, like mysteries, we think it's hidden, but it's not hidden. It's in the open.
Yeah.
And that is why sometimes a lot of people don't recognize it, because they are looking for something deep, they're looking for something hidden. But it's
That's in
right in the
plain sight.
right, most of the time it's right in the surface. So when I heard that, for me it was a game changer, and I started now to understand a lot of things about the need for paradigm. And that was years ago. I think that, and then that was the first time I hear paradigm. What's paradigm? Because I knew it was a
Serious?
buzz. Yeah, it was a buzzword. In it start. You know, when you know the law of awareness. When you hear something, you see something, and you like it, then everywhere you go, you see it. It was the
It's,
only time. But that is the
yeah.
law of awareness. All right. So I'm coming aware of it. So you're able to identify it wherever you go. So that paradigm, everybody was paradigm. They're talking about paradigm. Everybody talking about paradigm. What is this paradigm? Paradigm shift, and it was paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Okay, but then what is this paradigm shift? What is this paradigm shift? All right. So one of the definition Bob gave us, he said, it's a mental program. All right, a mental program that has almost exclusive control over, all right, or all your habits and your behavior. And almost all of your behaviors are habitual.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it again for those of you who are on this morning. All right. Okay, Nicole, good to have you on this morning. Um, it's a mental program. So a paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. So there's
Yeah.
something now that is controlling your behavior. There's a program that control how you behave and how you make decisions.
Correct.
That's a clear-cut definition of paradigm. All right. And then he said almost all our behaviors are habitual. Okay. So it's a program that control your decision making.
Mm-hmm.
It's controlling your habits, things that you do. So in order to change the things that you do, that habit, that you have to go back now and you have to shift that. That got to shift.
Yeah.
That got to shift. Okay, it got to shift. So that is where you talk about paradigm. Paradigms, what are they? They may be controlling virtually almost every move you make. Paradigm controlling every move you make. All
Whether
right.
you know it or not.
Uh,
Whether you know it or not.
no, yeah, and that's it. Whether you know it or not, okay, and you find yourself doing something over and over. All right. And what he said to ignore paradigms to influence your judgment is to put yourself in a significant risk when exploring the future. All right. To be able to shape your future, you have to be ready and able to change your paradigm.
Yeah.
Now, I know we have some believers on, but this is not just something in terms of from a secular perspective. This is across the board.
Law.
It's a law. It's a law.
Yeah.
Because why it is for me, and one of the questions I was asking Keeshon, for me, why it is individuals will sit in church, hear all that stuff, right, and yet not progress, not do it.
I remember,
Okay?
just to
Yeah,
add,
go ahead.
I mean, I spoke to Ansel about this, a couple of times, well, because me and Ansel would have grown up together and we'd have a quiet conversation.
Yeah.
And, I would have grown up in church as well. And I told him when I was young growing up, I would have feel like, I'm listening to the preaching because, Apostle, he would have been speaking about wealth and increase.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when I observed the church, most times I felt like he was only speaking to me because I thought like no one else really understood what he was saying. And the only reason I felt that way is because when I look around, as you say, at the results of the congregation, most times, the average man, and you're looking for change because you're getting a message of change.
Right, that's it.
You're receiving a message of change, but then you're looking around because you know these people, you grew up with these people, so then you're looking for the change that comes with the message of change. So, I used to feel like I am the only person in the church.
Yeah. It's like he's speaking only to you, directly to you.
Yeah, correct.
And you know that when you have when there's a message for you, and when you go in and sit down and you have 100 persons there, 2,000 people there, and you feel like this man watching you alone, this man and you want to know if somebody tell him something about you, oh, this man. But that's how God operates. When he wants to get to you, he could pick you out in amidst 1,000 individuals, and you can go right there and get a message because and when you come out, you feel like, hey, God spoke to you alone, that you alone have to do this. And that's how it is. So this is the whole concept and paradigm. All right. Now, what he says. He says, it's really a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work or how many hours you put in. If the paradigm does not change, all right, the result is ultimately remains the same.
Yeah.
All right. For 1 year to the next year. Now here we talk about we're looking for results when you're doing something. Yeah. But then why it is this year it was the same, next year it was the same. It's 5 years, but there's no change. And he said it's like a black and white situation we're dealing with here. It doesn't matter how hard you work. Look at it. It doesn't matter how hard you work, okay, or how much hours you put in. If the paradigm does not change, the result will be the same.
Correct.
Those of you on, how many you could identify with this thing here we were sharing about paradigms? What is this paradigm? Where it's found?
Yeah.
So I can go and change it. So if you're telling me comments, no matter how much hours I put in, no matter how hard I work, if the paradigm don't change, you'll get the same result.
Exactly.
And that is why this is so detrimental. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, in the whole paradigm aspect, we talk about the cybonic system.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you remember that.
Yeah.
Psycho-cybonics.
Yeah.
All right. Charles say I can identify. All right. The book called Psycho-cybonics. It's a book on the mind, the subconscious mind. It's a really, really powerful book. Okay. But there's also something called the cybernetic system, all right, which works just like the paradigm. So when you understand how the cybernetic system work,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then you will understand how paradigms work. Okay, paradigm and the cybonics are both controlling system. All
Yeah.
right, and they operate essentially on the same principle. Look at it here. All right, they operate on the same principle. I know for some of you, you hearing this for the first time, you hearing this, and you think, I mean, why I need about this? I want money. Like, why want this man? I mean, these guys talking about how cybonics and paradigm and thing. What's the need? But you see, when you're dealing with these things, folks, you're dealing with the root of the matter.
Yeah.
You're going down to the root of the stuff. Okay. Remember, let me say it again to you. It says here, it doesn't matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter how many hours you put in, if your paradigm does not change, all right, the results ultimately remain the same. And let me add this: no matter how many church service you go to, no matter how many good teachings you sit under, if
Yeah.
your paradigm don't change, your result will be the same. All right. Then if I'm hearing this, and this for those of you who are listening this, and let me share this. I think that folks now are so fortunate, Keeshon, because remember years ago, no one was telling us this.
Hmm.
You had to hear this by the way.
Yeah.
You and nobody talk about paradigms because people seeing folks working hard, they're working long hours, but then there's no change. But now you hearing this now, it's in our mind. It's in the area of your mind you have to work with. All
Yeah.
right. And go back to that first statement I made. God deal with us the way He created our mind
To work.
function.
Yeah.
All right. And God is going to give you an idea. So if God now is giving me an idea, drop here, then I need to know how that system work. Okay. So let's go in a little deeper into this. So we're having a
Sure.
discussion this morning. All right. So paradigms and the cybernetic system, it says it's controlling system, which means it controlling things. So we need to go now to go into the control system to change your result.
Yeah.
Okay. And they work under the same principle. Both, listen to this now, both maintain a definite course of action,
Mm-hmm.
maintain it, and will not deviate from the course that has been established.
Yeah.
So if it's set on a course, it will not deviate or divert from that. So
Mm-hmm.
no matter what you do on the outside, in terms of, I say, I will work 14 hours, right? I will do all of this. That is not going to shift the control system,
Yeah.
because remember, the control system do not divert from the course that is already established.
Hmm.
All right. So how this course is established? how this paradigm established this course for me, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't have a part to play in this. All right. So that is where now you go back into the conscious mind,
Yeah.
the conscience, and the subconscious.
Subconscious. Yeah.
All right. That is based on the information, your environment, the credible others, the life experiences that you had
Mm-hmm.
while you were coming up, that was forming this system and putting it on a specific course for you to follow.
Yeah.
And it's when you think about it, Keeshon, it seems like it's unfair.
Yeah. If you yeah.
It seems like, because it's like you growing up and you doing things, but the things that you're doing, your environment, the credible others, the life experiences, and the things that you listen to and think, you didn't know that you are really building and structuring the system.
Yeah. And you have no control over those.
No, you have no control over those. All right. But the thing about this now, It's that you are coming into a place of understanding. Okay. Now, folks, you're gonna realize the need for to learn, the need for going into this to change things. All right. And it's a dangerous thing. You know the thing about Bob. I mean, Bob teach this message, and you know this was always his message.
Yeah.
Never watch me. One message in about 99 different ways. Yeah. Because it worked. It worked. Okay. Now let's go back into it. So we said now, so it don't deviate from the course established. All right. So no matter what church you go to, what thing you listen to, hey. So you must know. So in order to shift that now, you must alter the paradigm. All right. So if you desire to achieve or improve results, we all have operating paradigm. Every one of us have an operating paradigm.
Yeah.
In our subconscious mind. It is. All right. To be able to shape your future, you have to be unwilling to change your paradigm. Let me say it again. I know some of you want your business and you want to get out of where you are. You want to get this. You want to get money. You want a lot of things. People have a lot of things they want. But I'm telling you, if you really get a hold of what we are sharing here, and you get into this paradigm issue, you're going to realize that almost 3/4 of your problem will be over.
Yeah.
Because you start one thing, you start something else, you never finishing anything because you're getting discouraged. And the reason why you're getting discouraged and you train in the towel is because your paradigm is working, right? It's bringing you back on course. And the thing about this is that it allows you to do what you have to do. All right. Now, anything you want to jump in there?
I know. I mean, you're going on the right path there, because a lot of people, you know, they think by doing something different, they're actually going to change the results, and that's not the case if you don't change your paradigm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think, should I take this course? Should I do that? Should I do that? But that is not going to change. The first thing is change your paradigm. And this is what I do, Keeshon. Even when I'm doing the mentoring program and thing, the first thing I think, folks, is paradigms. Let's work on that. Let's work on that. So I said to an individual, said, listen to me, all right, write out, tell me what it is you want. As I said to you, remember we talk about how much money you want to make for the year. All right. And that is the question Bob asked, just to get an idea of where this person paradigm is financially. And the minute you give that figure, you say, okay, I know where you're at.
Yeah.
I know where you're at. Okay. Now let's talk about the culture is formed. Culture is formed on habits, work practice, attitudes, beliefs, exceptions, otherwise known as paradigm. Habits are formed like that. All right. Armed with paradigm, you approach and react to the world around you. All right. A paradigm is in a sense, tells us that there is a game. Okay. What the game is and how to play it successfully. Let me say it again. A paradigm, in a sense, tells us that there is a game. you know, the game rigged, that is a system you're dealing with.
Yeah.
All right. You know, we talk about Babylon system, all kind of, but this is a system. All right. It tells you what the game is and how to play the game. Okay. Paradigm shift then is a change to a new game. Okay, or a new set of rules. And when the rules change, the whole world will appear to be changing, which means now you're going to begin to see things different. Because with a paradigm shift, it alters your perspective.
Yes.
Right? It alters your perspective. You know, we shared this already, and for somebody probably asking, so how it works. All right. So take, for instance, we talk about just now, we said to you that the paradigm and the cybernetic system is the same. Well, in the airplane, there's a system that is built into the airplane called the cybernetic system. Right? When you understand how the cybernetic system works, you have an idea how paradigm works.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can I tell you, for those of you who listen who go to church, you can't pray away this. Oh, you cannot pray away paradigms. So please
Yeah.
don't put paradigm on your prayer list. You cannot pray away paradigms.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big statement.
Yeah. No, it's serious. You cannot pray away paradigms. Do not put paradigms on your prayer list. Okay. All right. So the cybernetics in the plane. Let me explain that for somebody here in case they don't know how it works. All right. So this cybernetic system is built into the plane to control the plane. It's like an autopilot. All right.
Yeah.
So if the plane is leaving from, let's say, from Trinidad to go to Miami, all right, the pilot jumps in, he sets everything, and he programmed the destination into the system, the cybernetic system. All right. The plane leaves Port of Spain going to Miami. The plane may go off course at least 3 or 4 times. Okay, but anytime the plane go off course, the cybernetic system kicks in and brings it back on course.
Yeah.
And sometimes the pilot don't even know. The passengers in the plane who were going on the journey did not even know that the plane was going off, deviate, but soon comes back on. That's how paradigm works. So for those of you who's talking, so when you start to work hard and work long hours, all right, you're working hard, the paradigm kicks in, and it was designed to keep you at a certain level. The level or the area it was programmed to keep you in is going to keep you there. The minute you start to do something different, like the plane is going to, of course, a signal is sent to your whole entire being.
Yeah.
All right, that something is wrong. Something is happening that we are not accustomed with. Let's get to work.
Bring it back on course.
Let's bring you back on course, because the program is always set. You never used to read, you never used to study, you never used to go in the gym, you never used to work on yourself. Now you start working on yourself. Now you start doing that. You start reading, you start taking courses. All right. Why? Because now you're going to shift that paradigm, and the paradigm don't want to shift. So they do all that it takes within your body to bring you back on course.
Yeah.
This is why folks start and stop. And you need consistency. So if you're going to break paradigms, all right, and you begin to hold a course, you have to now hold it with force, because consistency, repetition is what breaks, shifts, and creates new paradigm.
Yeah.
Repetition. So whatever you're doing, you have to be consistent with it. You have to do it regular so that it can establish a firmer foundation in your subconscious mind. So you're reprogramming the paradigm.
Yeah.
That is what we call reprogramming the system. Okay. Now, when you start to go off course, okay. Now remember, cybernetic system is programmed to pull you back on course. So guess what? So there's a fight. All right. So you start exercising, and the paradigm kicks in to bring you back.
Right on course.
That is where you have to fight it. I'm gonna get up, and you keep fighting it. Now that fight there, Keeshon, that tension there is what we call breaking the terror bar. That's breaking the terror bar. Okay, and that terror bar will break with pressure, intentionality, and consistency. So you cannot, if you're going to break a terror bar to shift paradigm, you cannot move based on feelings.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, you will not feel to exercise, you will not feel to read, you will not feel to take the course, you will not feel to do it. And most people, when the feeling comes, they stop. So they hit the terror bar, and then come back down.
Yeah.
That's 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 what caused people to start and stop. They hit it, bam, and they stop for 2, 3 weeks, a month. Then they get new gym clothes and thing, new gym sneakers, and
Start
then they
back.
click a little bit and then start back again. We gone, yeah, we hit it. Until guess what? Pressure starts, which means now the paradigm kicks in to bring you back on track, and you feel, I didn't feel like going to the gym, I didn't feel like reading, I didn't feel like, and guess what? You stop. Why? Because now the paradigm works. The paradigm works. It bring you back on course, and you that's it there. Woo! Right? It's like a clockwork, I know, Keeshon. Yeah, it's like a clockwork. Because what this does now for me, and you're gonna understand this, it caused me now to realize that when you're dealing with someone, all right, why it is sometimes they will start and stop. And the thing with this, Keeshon, is that sometimes the person don't understand it's a paradigm problem.
It is. It
It is a
is.
paradigm problem. No, but I didn't feel to do. I didn't feel. No, I didn't feel to read. No, no, no. I'm busy. I'm busy. It's a paradigm problem.
Correct.
Yes, I know you're feeling sleepy. I know you didn't want to read. I know all of that. I know. No, I will do it tomorrow. Sure, sure. We'll do it tomorrow. Yes, yeah, let's start tomorrow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Tomorrow come.
Same thing.
Why? Because it's a paradigm. All right. Paradigm don't shift like that. Even though your intention is good, it don't shift based on good intention. Good intentions don't shift paradigm at all.
Yeah.
It will start. All right. So what I was saying now, you must alter the paradigm if you desire to achieve or improve results. You will have operating paradigm. You got to alter your paradigm.
Yeah.
For those of you listening here, for those of you who listen this here, the paradigm, you got to alter your paradigm. All right. So what we call it, so you call it now a paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
A paradigm shift that will take place. All right. And some people have paradigms. This shift it take place with behavior, with finance, with life. It's paradigm shift all over.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in order to, this is why now I'm Keeshon, you hear this. Yes, this is why. In order to implement the paradigm shift, basically, there are two things you have to know. Number one, you have to know where you are, and number two, you have to know where you are going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where you are and where you want to. You have to establish those two things. All right, and two things, and this is if you want to create wealth. This is if it's exercise. Anything you do with paradigm, you have to establish where you are, where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where you are in terms of paradigms. All right, where you are going, where you're shifting to go. So you got to establish those two things. All right, paradigms are habits, and it's other people habits. Listen to this. Paradigm is other people habits, right? Because paradigm now we say could be likened to a program that has been installed in your brain. Okay, a program that was very likely written by people you loved, good people, people you sincerely wanted the best for you, who wrote those paradigm in your brain.
Correct.
All right, credible others that you listen to. Okay, now there are 4 factors that influence or help form your paradigms. The 4 factors I mentioned it just now, and I'm going to mention it again for those of you here, those of you who listen this later on. The 4 factors, listen, is very simple, that establish paradigm. Number 1 factor is life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
The life experience, thing that you experience in your life, okay, those are one of the factors that influence and help form our paradigms, life experiences. So you grew up in an area, let me say, if you're dealing with wealth or finance, an area where it's lack of finance, poverty, and thing. Okay, what you experienced there, growing up there as a child, that has part 2 in influencing and forming your paradigm.
For sure.
Yeah, okay, that's 1. The second one is authority figures.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we make the mention, Keeshon, paradigms can be likened to a program that has been installed in your brain. Okay, a program that has been very likely written by other people you're listening to, authority figures. Okay, who, because of their position, you listen to them. Then
Correct.
environment, we talk about environment. Okay, and then credible others, credible. So those are four factors literally that help form. All right. Now you're going to deal with this paradigm, and I mentioned before where you are, where you need to go. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Um. So the ideas that comes into your mind. So you ask yourself, because what are you thinking? Okay. All right. What are you doing? Okay. What were they saying? Okay, and the world was becoming, and what the world is becoming around you. So these are just questions that you ask. All right. Now let's look at in terms of examples for paradigms. All right, and you can think about this in terms of, as I said before, in terms of finance, in terms of business, how you look at business, how you think about business. Okay, paradigms are formed in those areas
Mm-hmm.
because it goes across the board. Paradigms in terms of relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sit and you think about what are the areas that form this paradigm. All right. Now, when you deal with paradigms, you go back. Now let's go back into the conscious, subconscious mind. All right, let's work with it too. Conscious, subconscious mind. All right. So the first thing is results. Results cause thoughts. Result cause thoughts.
Yeah.
So something happened, the result, you begin to think. All right. Paradigm supports and agrees with those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. New thoughts reinforce old conditioning,
Correct.
and then which produce now the same results. So you want to know why people get the same results all the time. Why? Because results cause thoughts. So let's say you fail in a particular area here. You start to think about that. That's thoughts coming to your conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Then the paradigm now that was there before, it supports and agree with those thoughts that came in as a result of what happened.
Yeah.
All right. Then new thoughts reinforce the old thoughts. Because remember, bam, you had old thoughts there. But then new thoughts now supporting the old thoughts. Because remember, the new thoughts came as a result of what you experienced if it's failure.
Correct.
Right? So that new thought, subconscious mind now, paradigm now, come in agreement with that new thought, which support the old thought. Okay, which produce now the results you get in. So what I'm showing you is a cycle going over and over, Keeshon.
Yeah.
It's a cycle. Results cause thoughts. All right, Colleen. Colleen is on. I'm so grateful for this knowledge. Nicole says she's so grateful for this knowledge. All right, listen to me. It's like a cycle going over and over. Now, if paradigms hasn't changed, Keeshon, you'll find out habits go over and over and over. Because remember, if you keep failing, that fail is an experience.
Yeah.
And that fail is a result. It causes a thought because you look at it. And that thought now comes in where? Your conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
If the paradigm now that was already in your subconscious mind is there before, that paradigm supports and agrees with that new thought that came in as a result of the results,
Yeah.
which was a failure. Okay? Then the new thoughts now reinforce the conditioning, which produce the same result. So literally now, guess what? The cycle going over and over, over and over. All right? So what we do sometimes, we have a chat, you have thoughts at this step here, you have
Mm-hmm.
paradigm, conscious mind, subconscious mind, thoughts, paradigms. All right? Then underneath here, you have the body, which is the instrument of the mind. Your body is the instrument of your mind because remember, your body acted out, okay, based on what the instrument is programming the instrument.
Correct.
Okay, so the body is the instrument of your mind. So then the actions you get in. So you're going to act on that now, your body acting, and then the results is what you get in. You see in there is as a result. Okay? Then you go back up to the thoughts. So if you look at it, it's like a circle going over and over and over. It's like a cycle going over and over and over. All right? So folks, this is just some snippets from some of the classes that we do on mentoring and dealing with paradigms and paradigm shift. Okay, so this is all part of learning before earning.
Learning before earning.
Right, so these are things that you need to learn. You need to know how the mind functions. And folks, hear what we are saying. This is for business, for relationship, for life itself. All right, paradigms are structured no matter what area of life you function in. Remember we said, and we're going to wrap it up here now. To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and be able to change your paradigm.
Yeah.
All right. A paradigm is what? It's a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior.
Yeah.
And almost all our behaviors are habitual. Habitual. Think about some of the behaviors that you have that is habitual. Why you keep doing that thing over and over. Why it is you cannot change that. Okay. Why it is you try. You sit under good teaching and you hear why it is over. Why? Because the problem wasn't the information. The problem was your paradigm. And unless your paradigm change, the results is going to remain the same.
Yeah.
All right. And as I said before, if the results keep reoccurring, then the paradigm keep reinforcing. Because you're experiencing failure. And guess what? Failure comes into your conscious mind.
Conscious mind.
Paradigms, all right. The paradigm supports and agrees those thoughts. And when there's agreement in your mind, when there's agreement in that area, trust what I'm saying, it's not even easy to move that there.
Yeah, they accept it as reality.
Yeah, it's real. And we haven't spoken about the beliefs and your value system.
Yeah.
That is what it's going now. It's going to keep you at that level. All right. One of the ways I like to explain the belief and the values, I use the numbers. All right. So let's say your belief 20 is the highest and your belief is 10. All right. 20 is the highest in value. Your value is 10. All right. So you start to pursue something. Okay. And what you're pursuing needs your value to be at least 18.
Mm-hmm.
Your belief got to be at least 20. And you say, okay, I want this. Bam, I'm going after it. The minute you start to go after that, okay, your subconscious mind knows that your belief and value is 10. And it was designed to keep you at 10.
Yeah.
So the minute you start to go after something higher that will take a greater value and a greater belief, what the subconscious does, it brings you back in alignment to keep it, do whatever it needs to do to keep you at 10.
Mm-hmm.
That I think Keeshon, that is serious. That is so dangerous, man.
And a lot of people not aware of that. Eh?
No, not aware of that.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to keep you back. It's going to design to keep you back, keep you at the 10, because that's where your value is. That is where your belief system is. And your belief system and your value system is formed as a result of the information that comes into your conscious and your conscience and your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Right? So, folks, just share your takeaway. I see the folks are on this morning. Mindset informs behavior, and shift in paradigm is the key. Thank you, Darcel. All right, Nicole and Carl, those of you on, what is your takeaway from this morning? I hope that those of you on, I want you to share this live, come back again and listen it.